Why do you call them cops? Why is a police officer so offensive to your intelligence that it's practically like a brick in your face every time you see one? They imply that you have no cop on, and you need to pay someone in taxes to be copped on for you. Very ironically and somewhat sarcastically, the people they get to be copped on are very narrow-minded, simpleton, bullyish, childish fucking cultists without a junior cert. Funny, isn't it? Spite you with that. They don't even get people that are very copped on to be your cop. I'm only playing around the word cop because I want to talk about the cop 20, whatever it was, 27 or what it was. Cop on. You pay cops to be copped on for you because you admit to, as your country, that you have no cop on yourself and you require cops. And you pay for this insult. Every time you see a cop, it's an insult to your intelligence, and so much as a brick to your face. Anyway, moving on from that, I wanted to make a video about cops and police. I will make a video about cops and police. Maybe I won't. Because they're just gangsters and they will just start hunting and bothering me. I know they watch my videos. And they'll just start hunting and bothering and really pushing on me. That's what they do. You pay them to push on you. They're like a mafia. They're like the best mafia, really. A government mafia, a government mob. So there's a mob of criminals, basically. They're the best ones, and you pay them, basically, to be the best for you. So you give them all the equipment and all the power and all the everything. Equipment specifically, there's a lot of money that goes into police. If you ever looked at these gypsies, a lot of money. You just pay them to be the ones that might help you on occasion, and they can't even help you because if you do get help from the pigs, you just, it really comes back on you. Like, I went to the police one time. I said I was homeless and I was being hunted by a bunch of kids for childish boredom. They're like hunting hobos and burning down tents and stuff around the local town where I was, and they were trying to start fights with me, and they tried to start. I got to save it, and some lady saved me. It was wonderful. She was very nice, and I asked her just to bring me straight to the Garda station. And I went into the Garda station and told them I'm being hunted by a stupid bunch of bored teenagers hunting hobos. And they said, there's nothing we can do about it. I was like, I tell you where they are, they're following me around. And I was like, there's nothing we can do about it until something happens. I was like, we can't do anything in deterrence or anything, or prevention, until it happens. And then 2 days later, I got stabbed in the head. Stabbed in the head or bricked in the head, or I think it might have been a blunt bullet, a shaved bullet on a brick, and he smashed it off my head. Anyway, and then I couldn't go to the police afterwards because the person who did this would get in trouble. Then all his boys and all his homies would have a legitimate reason for hating me other than a conspiratorial reason for hating me. So I couldn't even do anything about it. So what are you paying for? They can't even fucking help you. Anyway, it is about cops. I just hate police so much. They double murdered me. I have a double homicide. Gardaí tried to murder me twice. Police in this country tried to murder me on the same day twice. They excused the matter altogether, obviously. They excused me or something, pardoned me on this matter, and gave me a chemical lobotomy then in the hospital afterwards. And now they have a criminal conviction pending against me for talking about it in a public place. And they said I was intending to incite a riot. I told this hobo guy I was walking up the street with one day. I pointed at the police and they tried to kill me. And now I've got a conviction pending for talking about it. They have double homicide pardoned for themselves. That's what you're paying for, Your kids disappear in police custody, your kids disappear or die in a fucking hospital in Los Angeles, What you paying for? So they got rid of all the police in Los Angeles. Because your children's lives matter. Anyway, it's all private, It's kind of different police. They're all working for some rich guy. The hospitals are all owned by some rich guy as well. Cop. It's completely deterred. I might just make this movie about the pigs, how much I hate them. They are partially involved in this COP that I'm about to talk about. So you have the COP27, you're talking about climate change, and you're like, poor countries don't emit this amount of carbon, and rich countries do, and rich countries should pay, ought to pay, and poor countries ought to not to pay. The stability of your world depends on a few things. Pretty much Islam and maybe some good Christians have been the ones maintaining order, holy order on earth. Islam in particular, maintaining holy order for Christianity, you know what I mean? So we're like dead weights to Islam, and they make all the effort, as long as we don't harm them, but we do. We bomb and nuke the crap out of the Middle East. for their stars, coveting their stars, hunting and conquesting upon their stars. I'm being conquested upon my stars as a little leprechaun in Ireland with a big crock of gold. And some people have a few stars and stripes, and I had 1,400 stars. And they tore me apart for them. They conquested on me. They conquested Pakistan, they conquested Vietnam, they conquested everywhere. They're conquesting Ireland at the moment. And kids, like in America, Black Lives Matter, Kids Lives Matter. Loads of kids disappearing in Ireland. And the Gardaí are working with these people. Pseudo-military, Sinn Féin, Gardaí and police and all are working with and for these people. Nightmare, yeah, it's pretty scary stuff. So, Holy Order disappears and then everything will turn to crap. Famine. You've seen the corn, it's hilarious. You know, it used to be all yellow, Christian, pure yellow corn all the way through, and now your corn's all fucked up. The information has been fed through, basically, in the heavens. You're seeing it printing on earth through the corn, and you're seeing how fucked up you've made stuff. It needs to be all yellow. And now you're seeing the telltale sign of the black and blue and weird, messed up corn stalks. Sign of times famine. There won't be any nutrition in your food in the future, and you'll still just desperately and ephemerally try to hide behind like GMOs or like nutrient enhanced produce, but the nutrition will disappear from your food completely. So yeah, what's happening? About 200 videos online, about 100 are probably about this situation. Holy Order. So yeah, who's causing this? Who's causing the instability? And it's not just instability in your climate advice, because politicians can't do anything. Like, what are they going to do? To get blamed for these climate crises? To get blamed for floods? They claim they can't do anything about it, but I'm telling you, they are solely responsible for it. Solely responsible for it. Politicians, not all of them, pigs in my country as well, police. Yes, they are fornicating with the wife of the Lamb, and I am Lamb. Behold. Hi. And they married me to like 17 women, and they each took one, and they just keep marrying me to women, and they've divided the temple up between them internationally. This is what the 13 hours is supposed to be there for, Joe, and your American flag. Eagle is supposed to keep all these together, prevent these 13 flags from occurring. Florida, and New York both have temples through my name. Maybe Texas or something as well. France, Swiss, Luxembourg, Norway have one, Sweden have one, Germany probably have one, the Vatican, or some people in Italy, everyone basically. And they're all fornicating with the wife of the Lamb. Competitively fornicating with the wife of the Lamb. Yes, they're that childish and stupid and ephemeral. They're competing. These very few people are causing holy perdition on earth. So it's not just the climate that you say no one is responsible for, because they are responsible for this instability all over. I was told about it at year 7, and I wasn't delivered Potiphar. I wasn't delivered or received by year 7. And I was told there's going to be you'll see hurricanes. It's just like Elijah was told, you'll see hurricanes and fast winds and great rains. And I think it was fires, I can't remember. And then I was told another year later, the Holy Spirit would be in this water. I saw an image, scarlety kind of water. And a lot of flooding started. Sorry, I'm under a lot of attention. Attention, yes. Bad attention, bad company. A lot of attention, bad company. And then maintaining this mutiny of absolute bad company. They're employing rapists, murderers, and monsters, and keeping them in the temple to protect themselves because they're similar to these politicians. And I don't know why they didn't go with me. They went with a rapist, murderist, they're a cult now, rapist, murderist, mafia from Wexford. And I couldn't believe they teamed with them to mutiny me. And I was like, they just must be very similar, I suppose. Some mafias and cartels of drug dealing, brothel running, psychopaths. And they're in the temple now, so they occupy the majority of this temple, and that majority will be reflected on earth. So once before you had a celibate, prudent, kind, temperate, fortitude, friendly little angel boy with a rosary, blessing all the people they came into touch with, came in contact with or knew of. Now it's mutinied by horrible people, a horrible, horrible majority of vinegar. And that's going to be in everything. That's going to be in your mustard seed. It's going to be in your corn stalks. That's going to be in your sperm, Paddy. You're all going to have a little monstrous IRA, rapist, drug-dealing babies. Why is my baby ugly? And everyone's thinking, why do I have an ugly baby? In year 3, they stole my name completely. I had my name for 3 years about. And after the 3rd year, they stole my name. These are in year 1 or 2 now, so that by the end of the 3rd year, the world would have a nameless component, and that's when you'll see all the stillborn Nephilim babies. And nothing will be growing, nothing will be being born either. Nephilim, it's stillborns. When in 7 years on from the year that they completely took my name, I think year 7 or 8, that's when they gave me the chemical lobotomy, and that hurt, by the way. That was very painful. And I think I don't know what's going to happen to you then. It wasn't nice for me. The despair, I was so terrified for years for some reason. I was terrified for the world, and that's what's going to happen. So cop bonds, who's to blame? I have this saying, scum goes to the top. I recently called the Criminal Assets Bureau in Ireland, and they told me they don't investigate people unless they're actually criminals. I was like, that's a bit of a cop-out, you know what I mean? It's like scum go to the top. I thought that's what you do. You investigate people that are at the top. I was like, how did you get to the top? You're so blatantly on the top. So that's what I'm saying. I had a holy fortune. I was entitled to a holy fortune. The people that are pseudo-Christian royalty and Vatican are all people that specialise in robbing these angels whenever they're born. And they just made a system out of robbing them. Even so, I didn't die. They probably usually kill them or snuff them or have them disappear eventually. But I didn't and don't die. So it's really funny, isn't it? They can't make me disappear this time, and they're going to have to face the music. Because they've probably done it too many times already before. So anyway, scum goes to the top. So these people stole my holy fortune. I never... it's a responsibility more so. These people stole it and divided it between them. And Ireland got a lot of it as well. Ireland is so obscenely wealthy for no reason. Apparently no reason. This was saying, can you not investigate people that are blatantly and obscenely wealthy and have no good reasons to justify their wealth? I have absolutely no... Just like a history of an inheritance record or some anything, whatever justification they have to justify their obscene amount of wealth. They don't do this anyway. This Criminal Assets Bureau don't. Anyway, I wonder why. So the people you're looking for who are bonking my wife or the wives of lambs, they figured it out through me, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to set themselves now on the history of the Bible and bonk everybody's wives. They have to think which really does, and destroy Christianity and destroy everything all the way back, you know. So in the meantime, you've let them experiment and study me from a distance, and the more they've studied me, the more they've learned how to exploit me and people like me. So that's been wonderful. That's a great time well spent. Well done there, and your liberation you spent while they've been fornicating with angels like an Enoch and learning things they're not supposed to know and seeing things they're not supposed to see. These watchers from a distance all get destroyed. Like sooner the better, and sooner the merrier. Traitors of heaven, traitors of me. They all traited me. Not that I knew them in the first place, but I was a friend of everyone, so they are kind of traitors, because they did exploit my niceness and my kindness and my vulnerability of friendliness, and I was pretty, ripped off in that respect. Oh, I love everybody, like Krishna, very Krishna. I love everybody. Oh, wonderful. We'll just rob you blind. I don't love everybody. So Indonesia got flooded to bits. Now, I wouldn't blame Indonesia. This is what happens to the lands that are coveting the women. They get flooded, blatantly flooded. Blatantly so. If I was the Vatican, I would put holy inquiry as to why some places are being blatantly destroyed. Mexico, Brazil. Indonesia, I don't blame Indonesia nationally or themselves. I imagine Indonesia take a lot of wealthy people from different countries trying to build factories and stuff on their islands. And when you're away from your homeland, you can do whatever you want, can't you? You have a kiddie fucking killing factory or something like this in Indonesia. And Indonesia just don't care what the Americans are doing on their land, kind of thing. So I wouldn't blame some place like Indonesia, but they got blatantly destroyed from things that I'd imagine Belgium, people from Belgium, weird things that they do in their country or their islands, because it's probably good places to put factories on all the islands with all the water access, stuff like this, importing and exporting and all the kiddies disappearing as well. Indonesia probably isn't a very wealthy country, and like Brazil as well, is flooded and destroyed to bits. So I wouldn't really blame many people from Brazil, but I'd say a lot of Americans from Florida or whatever, or from Texas, go down to Brazil or wherever from around, go down into Brazil, and kids disappear regularly. They look for those kind of countries. Haiti, like I feel so bad for Haiti being so close to Florida, and so poverty, like held in poverty. It's almost like they're maintained in poverty, and kids can just go disappearing, and it's sadly the common way. No, it's not the way, but you know what I mean. So anyway, so places that are being flooded, Australia. Is it Perth up on the north of Australia? I know, like the Queen has those three. The Queen has those three main cities, or 3 or 4 main cities down the east coast. But then there's like Perth, I think. I'm not sure if I'm getting this right, but they're very closer to Thailand and all these kind of places. Or, I'm not even sure if we can get Philippines around those. This place up here is doing stuff. I'm not sure about the other 3 places, but I'm certainly sure that whatever's going on up in there was probably a bit more American and international port up on Perth than it is down on the eastern kind of British or Victorian coast of Australia. So Australia is being flooded. So people in Australia are like giving out to their government and protesting about the amount of flood damage and flooding. So blatantly, I just like to let you know that you probably do have people up in Perth from Miami or Florida or the Rose World. Or you imagine your country probably has some too, because they get in there, they rub elbows, they make friends. They get in with your government, they get in with your police, they get in with your military. Military experts. I don't know, like, can guards and military be lobbied? It's a weird thing, it's an annoying thing to me. It's like the military experts, it's like, why are you being lobbied? You're supposed to be national defence. The national defence in this country are harvesting and bullying and persecuting communities. They're shopping for their own people. The military in this in Ireland are shopping for their own country. Babylonian wank magic. Military experts, boys. Like, you know what I mean? Military experts. You're supposed to defend your own country, not harvest and persecute and dominate and enslave your own country. Just the second you get a waft of power. Experts, yeah. So they'll lobby your military and Gardaí before they... And your country, look at Myanmar, or look at Pakistan, or look at anywhere all over the world. They're just it's very easy and effective methods of covert infiltration. Well, I'm talking about simple and effective methods. All your presidents, Rishi, and all your politicians are all like, billions, we'll promise $1 billion in packages, and we'll promise this, and we'll do everything we can. What I'm saying to you is, and if you do anything you can, it's a very affordable event, laughably affordable event. It costs more to give Bob Dylan a microphone, for John Hammond to give Bob Dylan a microphone. It's less fuss than that even. It's a very affordable office. It's called Potiphar. You put me in a poxy room with a Bible. I want a couple of Jews. I want a couple of Joes. We have a telephone or two. That's it, I mean, maybe some more, like water and stuff for the boys, whatever. It's a very affordable solution to this problem. It can, affect. I'll take it'll take a while. It'll actually take about 7 or 8 years. It'll take 7 or 8 years of me working hard to fix the mess that everybody else has made through my name and through my existence. So they've feasted, and they've destroyed the entire world without Sabbath. And I'm gonna have to spend 7 Joseph years now fixing it all. After they murdered, raped, destroyed my family, my friends, my afterlife, my soul, my heart, my mind, my everything, now I'm going to have to painstakingly work. And this was annoying that you have me at this position right now where I'm begging for this all the time, desperately being persecuted, sodomized, asked, cheated, starved, poisoned, and you have me begging to help you, world. It's a very affordable event or office. Called Potiphar, if you're familiar with this from Genesis. I've already explained it in my videos, I don't want to explain it again. They had it done in 7 years, and you have Bibles and you're in year 8 or 9. And that's why you're really ringing bells and seeing bowls of wrath. You saw monkeypox, he didn't hearken unto the Lord. So what is happening here is, if you see these things, there is a Lord, he's being cheated, and you need to hearken unto him and respect him. We saw this in The Godfather. They were all dying at the same time at Passover. They realised, therefore, they're all dying for some reason. There's a Don, or a made man, or a Lord that we're not respecting. And it's like, of course, Michael. And they all go in. It's like, of course, Michael. They didn't believe Michael was a Don. And then they all start dying from Passover and then realise, oh no, there is a Don, and it is Michael. Because Michael saved his dad's life. They just didn't believe that, or they didn't know about it or appreciate it. Every Don wants his son to be a Don. Doesn't mean like Michael was going to be a Don, but Michael actually was a Don. As royal lineage there for his boys, just to let you know, it's a very unlikely occasion that your child will actually be a Don or blessed in such a way that you are. It's not exactly lineal. But Michael was. And my dog's going crazy. 1 second. Come with me and take care of my doggy, or my mother's dog, my family's dog. She's been sodomized as well by Noel Vanderberg in Miami or Florida. And she pounced her. Okay. They